What's going on, wrestling fans? It is I, Seafall, and welcome to 10 Count right here on Wrestling News Co. On today's edition, I got the one baby with me. It's Heath Slater. How you doing?
Oh, baby, I'm doing great. Certainly after that introduction. Thank you.
Well, it's well earned, and of course,
Yeah.
the one-man band. Where did that concept come from? Because I love it so much.
Man, I remember calling myself that back in developmental. I literally said I was like a one-man band without the instruments because I couldn't play instruments at the time. So I was pretty much a walk around rock band.
Oh man, it fit perfectly. You stuck out. I love it so much, and the air guitar and all that good stuff. But then, really, my
You know,
first introduction to you is the first season of NXT. No performance center, none of that. The first season
mm,
of a game show of NXT. How was that pitched to you originally?
man, literally, we were all in developmental, and Dr. Tom Pritchard and Steve Curran came around, and they pretty much said they wanted the top eight, and there's a new show. ECW was leaving. They're bringing in something new, this and that, and man, next thing you know, man, NXT, young rookies with pros, and they explained it to us like, did you watch like old school WCW?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember Future Shock where they had like the tournament of the tag teams and the single guys, and it was like for the tag team, it was like Doom, Legion of Doom, Samoan SWAT team, and shoot, I forget who the other tag team was. And then on the single side, it was like Sting, Lex Luger, Flair, and Muda. So they had a tournament system, and if you got a pinfall, it's 30 points. If you got a count out, it was 10 points. If you got disqualifications, this is that, and that's how we thought it was going to be. But then next thing you know, we get up there, and it's just like they don't even know what was going on. We were literally like. We were just guinea pigs, man. Like we totally was guinea pigs. They had time to feel, they thought of an idea, and we were literally going off the cuff of it. Is
Wow.
pretty much what you saw on television, yeah.
Now, before the game show of NXT started,
Mm-hmm.
are any of you told beforehand who is going to win, or it really is a competition?
Oh no, we didn't know anything. Well, I know of at the beginning, none of us knew. Like when I got eliminated, I literally got eliminated. I just was
Okay.
like, well, shit. And then they always give you like a minute and a half at the end to cut a promo. So I just was like, I better just come up with something good. So I just like blurted out whatever I said.
So when you do get eliminated from NXT, like what are you doing after that? Where are you going? What are you doing? Because the show continues on for a few more weeks.
It does. Pretty much they sent you right back to FCW. Yeah, so you just go right back to developmental and you watch your buddies on television.
Now, how did that feel?
It sucked, man. It sucked. You're just sitting there like, damn it. Like I should be there. I know I could have put on a better match than that. you know?
Of course.
Yeah.
What's even crazy is though, Wade Barrett ends up winning the tournament. The
Mm,
tournament. It should have been a tournament. The game show of
sure.
NXT. And
Yeah.
then out of nowhere, this brand new, I see it behind you, this brand new faction, the Nexus, shows up and destroys the ring,
Oh my
the
God.
entrance, the Justin Roberts is choked out with a tie. It becomes the most controversial moment in the wrestling history, apparently. So again, how
Uh,
you're sent back to dental training. You're a
yep.
little sad. You're upset seeing
Yep.
your buddies on TV, and out of nowhere, what happens? Who calls you and says, "Hey, we have this idea. We need to bring you in."
Brother, they literally told us at it was Raw in I think it was Miami, and their developmental system was in Tampa. So it's one of those things to where Dr. Tom and Steve was like, all right, guys, they want all of y'all to drive down to Miami for Raw. Dress nice, bring your gear. Who knows what's going to happen? It was one of those one of those things. So we're just like, well, shoot, okay. So we drive down there. We're sitting around, doing nothing, and then they call in for a little meeting. And next thing you know, man, we're passing out armbands, and they're telling us that we need to destroy absolutely everything that's inside that barricade and don't touch any cameras or fans. And we were like, well, what? And Vince pretty much said he wanted it to be like an explosion happen and chaos. And he wanted us to be a pack of wolves on meat, man.
Wow.
And I kind of feel like we put that over good.
Yeah, I think out of all the factions that have ever existed on, say, debuts or just destruction in general, that one will go down as history because no commentary. The team runs away. They're
Oh no,
scared.
no! They didn't run away. We whooped their ass.
Excuse me. Yeah,
No. They didn't run away.
I think Michael Cole was the only one who got free, right?
Watch that back, baby. We kicked everyone's ass.
I think was Michael Cole the only one who got away free though.
I mean, if he did, I know I beat up Jerry Lawler. We beat up, the security around, the bell keeper. Like we anyone that we could touch, we beat up.
So does anyone know about this plan beforehand? Because obviously you have to go out there. You have to have John Cena's not going to just suddenly like start really punching you and running away and all that stuff. So what does anyone know? Because it seems like very secretive.
So pretty much we all knew that was in the meeting with Vince. So it was pretty much all of Nexus, and then it was like Vince, John Laurinaitis, Pat Patterson, Michael Hayes, Malenko, Arn Anderson, like the crew of being like, all right, this is what I'm thinking, type deal. But Cena and them were putting their match together and everything, and then they got brought in, mid-show saying, hey, cut the finish. This is what's going to happen here. And then they were like, okay. And then Cena pretty much was like, all right, y'all just listen to me while we're in there. And what's crazy is that Cena is just such a loud communicator anyway, to where like you can literally see him, hold on. We're just like, dude, calm down. Everyone can hear you.
Like, sir, there's microphones around the ring.
Right? It's like,
we can hear you at home.
You're like, you are so loud.
Oh my.
But yeah, pretty much like that.
Who came up with Nexus then? Because obviously, again, Wade Barrett wins. So underneath the guise of NXT, the rules, Wade Barrett's going to get a world championship shot. He has a contract. Well, now you all have contracts. So did anyone speak to Wade and be like, hey, you won, but we all kind of won, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all did win, and, like in the promos that he preached, it was more like hey, we all thought of this together. We all wanted to do this together. That's why we all came in together, this and that type deal. So like it kind of like made sense through, what he was saying during his promos on Raw and everything. But I think he should have won the world title, I feel like we should have, won SummerSlam and then they kill us at Mania, but there's a lot of what ifs and what could have, would have, and should have been done, but what's crazy to me is that what was Nexus? 9 months, maybe 10 months, 9 months. And what is it? 14 years later, people still talking about this,
It was great.
So, yeah. No, it was great. It was really cool.
Now, what is the atmosphere with all the wrestlers? Because again, you're coming in, you're not destroying just John Cena, you destroyed the ring, you're destroying other legends, other athletes, huge talents in the wrestling world that are never touched by anyone, and the Nexus is destroying them. Are other wrestlers kind of giving you the side eye, being like, I've been here for 5, 6, 7 years, and you're out here, first chance, out here destroying main event stars?
Yeah. I know the higher ups, like the takers and that levels, they all were like cool about it, but that they were putting us in our place real quick too. Like we couldn't, like when they saw us having a good time, they reminded us that we sucked, so pretty much like that sometimes. But all in all, like later on, after us being the kids and we grew up a little bit, like of course, we all became buds and they were cool with us and we're all having some drinks together and then picking on us, but it's like we got accepted though. But back then when we were the kids, we're coming up like, oh, wow, we're doing this, we're doing that. This is awesome. This and that, we're badasses, da-da-da-da. So, I mean, I'm sure some of us did have a little chip on our shoulder, but the higher ups definitely let us know, who was, I mean, we didn't even get to change in the damn locker room until like Nexus formed. So we was in broom closets and extra room.
Really? Now, I've heard that story a million times from other people. Is that a common thing where if you're not a main roster talent or either you're not accepted by the boys, they make you change somewhere else in the building?
I kind of want to say that we were like the last little era of that. Because like after I was there for like 5, 6 years, and the extra talent would come in. They had their own locker room. Like we literally had like a janitor's closet. So yeah, so it
Wow.
was like I feel like we were the last tail end of the Wild Wild West days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think once HR gets involved and they're like, "Excuse me, what's happening? We're paying these
yeah,
people, and they're not allowed in the actual area." Like this is an HR problem that could
right.
turn sideways. But again,
It could,
do you complain? Then the boys know you tattled out. Like there's a lot of situations that could go awry if you're like,
of
um,
course.
HR, Undertaker won't let me change in the
Yeah,
locker room. I'm changing
right.
in a broom closet. It's yucky.
And they're just like, Undertaker, you know. But no, honestly, it was one of those things like paying your dues. Like I know
Yeah,
for a fact that people before me had it worse. So yeah, So I've heard those stories too. So
yeah.
yeah, I think it was fine. It made you grow. It made you see the business how it was. Like a lot of people was like just like, dude, you really was changing the broom closet? I was like, yeah, many times, many
Right.
times.
Try to
Yeah,
humble you, I guess, as the Iron Sheik would say. Though,
pretty much.
after the Nexus made its debut, there are multiple pay-per-views where the Nexus interrupts the main event.
Yep.
And if you're interrupting a main event that someone paid for, like $60, and you come out and the match really gets destroyed by the Nexus, which is great for Nexus, which is great for television-wise. But if
Mhm.
I'm hoping I'm going to see an ending to a match, and then out here comes the Nexus and destroy everybody,
Yeah.
and Sheamus somehow becomes champion again, everyone's like, ugh.
Daggone it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this really makes me upset. But then we roll into SummerSlam 2010. And this
Yeah.
is where I believe is unfortunately the beginning of the end of the Nexus, because Jericho and Edge have gone on record saying that the Nexus should have beat, which I used to like to call them John Cena's All Stars, because I swear they said that on TV once, and
They
then they
probably
never
did.
said it again. John Cena's All Stars, that you Nexus lose. Edge and
Yeah.
Jericho both have gone on different podcasts and said that was the wrong decision. John Cena at the time, Super Cena, whatever he wants to do. How do you stay on top? Well, sometimes you got to squash some bugs on the way. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I think that's what happened. But I think John later on has apologized, being like, whoops, my bad, my mistake. What were you thinking heading into SummerSlam 2010? Were there ever plans for the Nexus to actually win this match?
Yes, we were going in winning. Like we were supposed to be winning that match. And then around 5 o'clock or so, like it all changed. Jericho and Edge both like pretty much put all the match together. Like they're the one that was summing it up and putting it together and thinking of the ways, of eliminations and stuff. Plus with the producers, but Jericho and Edge was the one that's like pretty much was mapping out the match. And at first we were going over, then we weren't. But like I mean, you know what? Shit like that happens, and it sucks because like I wish someone was just thinking about the bigger picture and not themselves, type deal, you know. And then I always said it, and I've always said it on other podcasts. And it's one of those things to where like Nexus was on that bridge, on that cuff of like we already destroyed everything. We literally poured the gasoline all over the town. We have the match in our hand, and we're just like, yeah, we're about to take over. And then when we're about to light that daggone gasoline, someone just says, and blows it out. And we never got that momentum back, man. Like Nexus should have won SummerSlam. We all should have went back in the ring, stood tall. They ended SummerSlam that way. What in the world is WWE going to do? Holy crap! What's going to happen? Nexus is taking out the best. Then we take over for a few months. We, of course, it's a little ups and downs. But then next thing you know, man, we have the damn blow off at Mania. And once that happens, it's just, holy shit, here we go. Have the super group. Here comes the Avengers, and they're whooping our ass. That's exactly what I was like picturing. But it didn't happen that way. And then we had the group, the core, and then that's whenever we went in there and fought, Team SmackDown and lost 8 minutes of our time. And yeah.
Yes, we will get to the core in just a minute. Don't you
Yeah.
worry. Though, yes, everything you just said is exactly how everybody else in the world feels, that here's the moment. And like, I'll give an example of, say, the Shield. The Shield comes in, destroys Ryback, John Cena, CM Punk. Okay.
Yeah.
They help CM Punk. Those three people, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Jon Moxley, the name Rose at the time, all went on to become world champions. They created 3 stars in one group. In my brain, the Nexus was exactly that. You destroy John Cena and all the good guys and some bad guys. You go along your way. Eventually, you do break up. But what you've done is now you've created all these stars. The Justin Gabriels, Michael Tarver, David Otunga, Wade Barrett, all those guys suddenly shoot up. Maybe some become main event stars, maybe middle ground, maybe a tag team, maybe some don't succeed. But you would have created stars out of that group. And what happened was you created kind of like chaos where like, okay, well, they're kind of over now, but like, what do we do with the people who we think still have potential, but didn't get to, as you describe it, take that match and light the town on fire? And it never happened. Eventually, even John Cena joins the Nexus. And then he doesn't do what Wade Barrett tells him to do. When it's clear today, it's Wade Barrett's about to win the world title, but it's not. It's a John Cena Nexus show. And unfortunately, John Cena gets fired from the WWE. He's on the house show loop as Juan Cena wearing a mask. So again, how did you feel about that situation? Because no longer is the Nexus show. It's the John Cena show, also with the Nexus.
It sucked, man. Yeah, it sucked. Like I said, as soon as SummerSlam happened and the winds went out of the sails in the boat, it wasn't the same. The reactions didn't sound the same. Whenever we would come in and do things, like we would get the whole but it wasn't the whoa, so it was just one of those things where like right after SummerSlam it just wasn't the same, like at all. Let's Cena joins Nexus, but when he joins Nexus, he actually fights against us and makes us lose from the inside. Like, it makes no sense, And then Punk takes over. Then there's a new Nexus. But then the old Nexus is the core of the Nexus, and then we become the core on SmackDown. It's just one of those things where, like, I understand a little bit, but it's like we had so many new talent, even in NXT coming up. Like, you had Joe Henning, you had, Bray Wyatt. You had Fandango. Guys like that. Well, Bray and Joe got into new Nexus.
Right.
But what I'm saying is like Fandango's a good one. Big Con, he was a good one. Like there was guys that are talented that could have filled spots, and we could have been like an NWO. There could have been a yellow Nexus. Then over there is the red Nexus. You know what I mean? Yes, that probably is going way too far, but it could have happened.
No, I agree.
And what kills me is that like today, I said this on a podcast literally like 2 weeks ago, and I really believe today, like you have Wade on commentary, you have a lot of us that's not under contract yet, anymore, to where like they could do Nexus again, have us invade again, stuff like that. But we're not kids no more. We're grown ass men, and we're coming in being like, all right, man, like, I remember what we did wrong last time, but we ain't gonna mess up this time. And here we come in just whooping ass again. I mean, look up these guys on the internet. Wade Barrett's still in shape. Tarver still looks like he'd eat you up. Ryback's in shape. Darren Young's in shape. Justin Gabriel's still skydiving and doing 450 splashes. I'm 245 and I'm getting abs. So it's one of those things where like, like we can go, man. We can go. So it's like, come on, Hunter, call us up.
I love it.
Back.
Oh man, I was in that press conference that night, and they're like, okay, main event's over. Everyone in the press conference, and we're just sitting there, and you hear in the music the distance, what the hell is that? And then is that no, that can't be right. And then every media member crowded around this little monitor,
right?
And we all watched it like we were at home watching it on TV instead of sitting in the crowd where we were just 5 minutes ago. Oh boy, they ruined it. The WWE PR didn't know shit. So guess what? Not every secret gets out.
Hey, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I do enjoy that.
My God, there's nothing better than the good secrets that the internet doesn't ruin, I mean, like, I'm always a big fan of Rumbles. Like, I've been a Royal Rumble fan as a kid. But whenever, you get a little older, you understand it, but then you don't know the surprises that come. I still believe to this day we should have at least 5 surprises.
Yes.
I mean, number 5 should be one, number 12, number 15, number 21. You know what I mean? Like, put some of those. I mean, we all get that holy crap, this is awesome moment, you know?
Oh yeah.
So like, I really hope Hunter like adds some seasoning with the holy crap, this guy's coming back. Even if it's just here's your check for one day, like let it be a nice little surprise. It's cool, you know.
I was at the 2011 Rumble and Kevin Nash showed up, but it's Diesel. And holy
Yes.
moly, that place went ballistic. Booker T also made an appearance that night too, and the whole place went
Yeah.
crazy.
I
But
think
then
that
Nexus
was
2.0 tossed him out though.
yeah. Hell yeah, right. Right.
So
The
screw you, Nexus
2.0.
2.0.
Yeah, damn it, Nexus. I'm a Booker fan too.
What was your relationship like with Vince McMahon though during the tail end of the Nexus, or even the heart of Nexus? Because there's so many of you. Are you guys getting one-on-one time with Vince, or is it more just a group effort and Vince is talking to all of you at the same time?
It was definitely a group effort and Vince talking to us at the same time. But like Wade would have a little special treatment because, well, I wouldn't call it special because he would have to memorize all these promos. And these promos wasn't, just here's a few words, just say this. It was just like, bro, you're going to say like 15 pages worth of a promo, you got to memorize this stuff. So like, I would always just be like, oh man. And like, everyone would always like to go to Wade because, I mean, we always call him like the grandfather. Like he has that old soul. He doesn't go out. He doesn't like loud music, like he's just that, let me get some food. I don't want to go and lay down in bed and watch the news. He's that type of dude. But he's a hell of a person, great heart, and I love him to death. Good human being. But I remember times like we would go up to him, but hey, wait, like Stu, and he'll just be like, no, stop, like because he's studying over his lines and everything. And we would go and mess with him, and he'll be like, Miller, it's not the time, and I'm just like, all right, man, my bad.
I know, no longer the winds of change. He has to memorize 15 pages of lines where most likely the words that no one actually uses in a regular sentence.
That's very true too. That is very, and then Vince can be specific about those words too.
Yeah, but like I'm sorry, like I watch wrestling and I guess somewhat educated, but not everyone is educated in the entire world. You don't have to have the biggest words in the world to like, oh yes, oh. I remember one year, I don't even know what the word still kind of means. Is Ric Flair came back into the WWE, he's like, I'm the consortium, and the consortium. I'm like, what the hell's a consortium? I never heard this word before. Do you own the company or do you don't own the company, Flair?
Right?
I'm massively confused.
Speak English,
Yeah, just say it. You're half the owner. Just say half the owner.
Half the owner.
The consortium.
But it's funny though because you're right because there'd be some word that you never heard of and it just would mean dumb or stupid, Yep. And you just say, why can't I just say stupid?
No. It's gotta be.
No, that makes you sound stupid.
Yeah, you gotta be bigger than that.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
You have to confuse the stupid people.
Yes, of course. Oh, I'm sorry. What'd they say? I don't know. I'm gonna go buy some more merchandise.
Right.
That's what he's probably thinking. You won the tag team titles though with Justin Gabriel. And what was that experience like? Because obviously you're in the business, you're trying to climb up the ranks, and you've actually won a championship. Not everyone has won a title. Not just because you have a job doesn't mean you get the world championship or the tag team titles. True. How'd that feel?
Oh, it was amazing, man. And Gabriel's like, man, he was in my wedding, man. He's like one of my best friends. I love him to death. Still talk to him today. And winning the titles with him, we actually won, I think, 3 times maybe. And we got a double pack figure together and a lot of trading cards like on my wall together. So it's like one of those things that were like a lot of my career I remember with him. And even before that, because like we used to go out in Tampa together and have a good time, restaurants, clubs, all that stuff. And, and we would travel the roads together and wrestle each other and all that, even before we made it to WWE. So it was one of those things like we were good friends before anyone ever saw us on television. But no, it was a pleasure. I love him to death. And like, I love those times that we shared together.
Yeah. I love his new look though, because I interviewed him a few weeks ago, and he's got this long beard in the middle and all this, and it's like someone was like, "Is that him?" Like someone didn't believe that it was Justin Gabriel.
He looks like Gandalf the Grey, man.
Yes,
dude. I swear he could be a wizard.
He probably is. He probably is. And we talked about it earlier a little bit, but CM Punk taking over the Nexus.
Yeah.
This is kind of a 2-part question. Did people lose faith in Wade Barrett, or CM Punk complaining about his placement, and he's getting kind of like, okay, fine, you're complaining, Punk. That's fine. You can have the Nexus. Yeah, you'll be the leader. Like, is that what happened?
Honestly, I don't know. I want to say that Vince thought of an idea of having us literally break up, but half and half, because he wanted a group for SmackDown. So in my mind, Vince was like, well, Gabriel, Heath, Wade, they're the original in here. And Ryback, I heard, was supposed to be in it, but he like broke his ankle, so he couldn't be. So that's why Zeke got that spot. But I don't know if Punk was complaining or anything like that. Like, I didn't hear anything like that. I just heard that Punk was taking over Nexus, but me and Gabriel was leaving, and we're going to go to SmackDown with Wade and form this new group called the Core. And I just was like, well, okay. And literally, I think I was with Punk, me and Gabriel both, maybe 1 or 2 episodes. And I remember Punk had a Nexus shirt, but it had his symbol in it as yellow. Yeah. And I remember me and Gabriel both just ever got one. And because like they would always have Nexus shirts for us, every night on television nights and house show nights. We would go to the trainer's room, get her tape and baby oil, grab a Nexus shirt, and we would get probably like 5 a week. So yeah, exactly. It was nuts.
You get a box of them at your house right now?
Well, I did, and then I got released and I sold them. So, I got a few left, but not many. But so I got that one Punk shirt that I've only had one of, and we wore it on TV once. And as soon as that happened, we were supposed to beat each other up with kendo sticks in the back. And then like we looked at it, Punk, like we were going to hit him, and he just was like, "Yeah, hit me." And then we just dropped him and walked off, and then we became on SmackDown. And that was the only doing that I ever had with his part of Nexus.
It just seemed so out of the blue, where suddenly CM Punk was the leader of the Nexus. And I think in again, my question is why I asked about the complaining part, because if you flash forward a little bit, suddenly the Nexus kind of just disappears, and CM Punk cuts the pipe bomb promo on John Cena, and then that leads into the Summer of Punk and so on and so forth. So like it just felt like I don't know, it just seems like CM Punk complained, got something, and then didn't like the thing he got, and then kept complaining. And, eventually, obviously, he became the best in the world and had a great title run and all that good stuff. But
honestly, I don't know the backstory behind it, man. I wished I did. I could tell you. I really don't.
And then the whole point of the Core you keep bringing up was, let's take some original members and split this group up into 2. CM Punk can have what piece, and then Wade Barrett, you and Justin and Big Zeke will be on SmackDown as the Core, which I always love because I think it's spelled with 2 R's.
Yep, it is. It is.
For what reason?
Man, who the hell knows? Because Kore, I heard, was trademarked, and then Core was trademarked, and then I guess Vince was like, "Well, just add another R." And then Wade wanted to make up a thing on Twitter, because we all were doing Twitter back then because it was a new social media thing. So he put out on Twitter that the reason it's spelled with 2 R's is because I can't spell, and I went to get the trademark and I spelled it wrong. So everyone believes I did it, which in all aspects, it probably would be right, because I can't spell for shit.
I remember seeing it. I was like, why are there so many R's? And then I remember seeing signs where people would hold them up and actually add more R's.
Oh, brother. To me, it was like a French word, like Core or something.
Very
I didn't know.
fancy.
But honestly, I have no idea, man.
Okay.
And the story behind that is what I heard. I wasn't there, so I don't know, but I heard is that Core needed a shirt. They wanted to give him a shirt. And Vince literally took a napkin that his coffee was on, and with an ink pen, and drew a shirt and wrote Core that way in like an Iron Man heart thing, and then gave it to him and said, "Print that up."
Yes, sir. Whatever you need, sir.
Right.
Are they supposed to be shaped like napkins, sir? No, it's on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Oh,
all right. I just want to make sure, sir. I don't know what you want. Consortium.
Napkin. Yeah, exactly. It probably would have been better if the napkin was on the shirt,
I thought with the coffee stain on it too.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? I like that idea. Yeah. No, the Core did have, you brought up the Nexus not having a WrestleMania match. Well, the Core got a WrestleMania match, and it lasts maybe a minute and a half.
Yep.
Maybe it's the Core versus Big
Maybe.
Show, Kane, Santino, and Kofi at WrestleMania 27.
Yeah,
Is your
man.
match supposed to be longer, or did someone,
Um,
or is this always supposed to be short?
no, man. Our match, I think they said at first we had like 16 minutes. Okay. So we have 16-minute match, but I think Cody and Ray was before us, and they went like 8 minutes over. So our 16-minute match went from 16 down to like 8 minutes. You know, so we have 8 minutes now, but Core has an entrance. Big Show has an entrance. Kofi has an entrance. Kane has an entrance. Santino has an entrance. So there's 5 minutes down from the 8 minutes. So that's 3 minutes. Brother, the bell rung, and I'm in the ring with Santino, and we had this whole spot. Like we had a match planned, but they literally said ding, 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 and the ref looked at me and said, go home. And I said, the fuck? What? And said, go home. And brother Santino comes in to lock up to start doing a spot, and I just kick him. Yeah. I said, brother, do your comeback. We gotta go home. And then I took the comeback. I did everything in that match. No one got tagged in. I started it. I did the comeback. I did the finish. I took the finish. Like it was just like a what the hell. So it was just one of those moments to where you're just like, this is WrestleMania, huh? this is what I'm supposed to be so excited about. What the hell? But
You
yeah, man.
didn't know until you were in the ring that your match was cut down?
Dude, no. We knew we lost time.
Okay.
So you watch those entrances. I mean, think about it. A Mania entrance is like 75 yards.
Right.
Like it is a football field. And that's just the damn entrance. And us, one entrance takes you 2 minutes. They say, the other entrance, and they're rushing them. And you're rushing them. And by the time it's time to ding, ding, ding and go, you have 2 minutes match time before the next match was supposed to start. So, yeah, so we had to go home quick. Professionals, baby, professionals.
So I guess the question
Yeah,
is, do you get paid by the minute?
I did that night. I did that night.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
Yeah, that's
But you have to be able to adapt, man. Like you have to do that. Like if I would have said, hell no, Santino, let's just keep going, let's just work our match, and we went 8 minutes over, and then that makes the next match lose 8 minutes, and if it keeps going, it's a trickle effect all the way to the main event. So if we didn't cut that match that short, we wouldn't have got right back on time. You know what I mean?
well, The Rock
You
was
got,
also the host of that WrestleMania, and I'm imagining he just kept talking. And I love The Rock, but
yeah,
you
of
know,
course, it
you know,
happens.
of course. But I would think, hey, it's WrestleMania, yay! Like you're very kind on how you're saying, this is how it is. Sometimes you get your match cut short, but in
Yeah.
reality, deep down, I've interviewed, like Tensai and Tyrus and the
Hmm.
Bella Twins and Naomi and all them. They got their match removed from
Yeah.
WrestleMania when they were at Gorilla, and
Yeah.
and they got to have their match again on Raw the next night. But again, with you, you're the Nexus part. It's great. It's great. It's great. Oh, John Cena's in it. It's okay. Oh, we're broken up now. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Oh, now we're at WrestleMania. Yay. Oh, our match is 1 minute. Like internally,
It
how are you feeling
sucks,
about this
man.
situation?
It sucks, man. Being honest, it sucks. But I'm that guy to be like, I try to look at the glass being half full than half empty. I've always tried to look at it as like the good side, not the bad. So I look at the part. Well, I was at Mania. I had a match at Mania. Yes, it might not have been that time that we wanted, but I got to walk down the aisle, look at the people, get in the ring, ding, 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 and like I'm here. You
Yeah.
know, it wasn't. I didn't stay as long as I wanted to. But I was there. And like so I look like that. Like I look on that side because like life sucks sometimes, man. It does. Like life can suck, but if you let life suck and let it keep you down, all you're gonna do is let it. Like, it will swallow you up if you let it. So you gotta buck back and fight back and look at the good side, look on the bright side, and like keep moving forward. So that's what I did.
Well, I love it because that's some great positive energy there. Because after this, after the core, after all of that, you have a feud with Legends heading into Raw 1000. And I feel like this is really where, like, I loved you from the beginning, and
Hmm.
even though you're still here, I'll still tell you I liked you. I enjoyed your
Yeah,
stuff.
thank you, buddy.
Though, the check's in the mail. Though, no, seriously. But when you started feuding with the Legends, I feel like your personality was already there, but it got amplified more. Now you're fighting out there. You're having promo time in the ring. You're cutting promos as the one-man band, fighting Sid and Rikishi and Lita and getting your ass kicked by all these people. But suddenly you're on TV by yourself. The spotlight is on you. How'd
Yeah.
that feel, and who gave you the guidance to say, hey, we should do this?
The whole thing was is that like Raw 1000's coming up. You know, it's coming up. It's coming up. So you hear rumors about, oh, we're going to bring some legends in. Who knows who it's going to be? They'll do some backstage stuff. So literally starting the road to Raw 1000, man. Like I go to, to the building. I put my bag up. I go get some food. Next thing you know, you go to talent relations, and in talent relations, you got to check in and sign papers if you got to sign papers and all the BS. They say, in talent relations, they have the rough draft always up on there, so you can probably go in there and see what the kind of they're thinking. Man, I'm looking and I'm looking, and they say, it's like Heath Slater versus Vader, and I'm just like, the fuck? Hey, hold on. And then I look over at Carano and I'm like, hey man, is this like a joke? Like is Swaggle gonna be dressed up as Vader or something and come down and beat me up? Like what's happening? He's like, nah, Val, like it's Vader. Like you're gonna be working Vader tonight. I said, hold on, like Big Van Vader? Like, he was like, what Vader do you know? Like that. So I'm just like, holy crap. I said, and then that's when he explained to me. He was like, yeah, they're talking about leading up to Raw 1000, bringing in a legend week, for someone to wrestle. I said, am I going to be the guy they wrestle each week? He was like, no, probably just, whoever. I was like, no, man, like, I need to be that guy. And Corrado was like, man, I don't book this like that. So I looked and I saw that Mike Rotundo was my agent. So I go to Mike Rotundo. I'm like, hey, Mike. And he was like, whoa, Heath, like, you see what you got, and I'm just like, damn right, I see what I got. What the hell? And Mike's such a cool dude, man. Such a laid back guy. And he's just sitting there like, yeah. He was like, each week they got something coming up. I was like, am I the guy that they're facing though? And he was like, no. He was like, I think it's like, this week's going to be you. Next week might be JTG. Following week might be, whoever. They said, I was like, nah, man, like I got to do this. And he was like, well, go talk to Vince, So I literally just go and I knock on Vince's door and I walk in and Vince is like, hey, come on in, And I'm like, hey, man, I see that I'm working Vader. Like, can I have that every week with these legends? And he was like, what? I said, like bring the legends in, let me be like anti-legend. Like, oh, you old dudes get the hell out, man. It's my time to shine. It's young kids' time to shine, And Vince was like, yeah, you're willing to do that? I said, damn right I am. He's like, okay, like whatever. Easy, like that. And brother, from that day with me just bucking up, being like, I'm gonna go talk to Vince. It worked out. Like it was cool. And bro, I got to live my childhood. I lived my childhood. Like I remember being that 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old kid at the guardrail and seeing Vader walk by, seeing Sid walk by, like these giants. And I'm just like, whoa. And now I'm in the ring cutting a promo and their music's hitting and they're coming down in front of, 20,000 people and millions watching around the world. And I'm just like, what the hell is happening? Like, am I dreaming? I'm damn dreaming. I've had this dream before. I know I have. So it was like so surreal, man. Like it's awesome. Like I still like to this day is like that was some of the best highlights of my career just because I was 100% living my childhood. I mean, Sidney Lawford busted a record over my head with Piper in the ring and Wendy Richter, I mean, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like I wrestled Road Warrior Animal, Kishi, DDP, Doink the Clown. It was just, it just keeps going.
The fact though you also wrestled Sid really is mind blowing to me because really I don't think we saw Sid since his leg injury in
Yeah,
WCW, and I think that was like 2000 or maybe 2001. And
no,
so
it
when his leg
was.
snapped in half on a pay-per-view, if you really want to see a gross thing, it's out there on the internet. But and then you haven't seen him. And now here we are heading to Raw 1000, and Sid is here in the vest, in the jean shorts, like with the hair. He's ready, dude. The fist pounds. I still think he invented fist pounds. You know, I don't care who says what.
Right. He did make him look cool though.
Oh my God, he would come at you and be like, is this guy gonna punch me?
Yeah, he did. I didn't want to get hit by that.
No, that was such a great moment though for you. And I feel like once that happened, and you even mentioned it, you went into Vince's office and you said, "Hey, I want this." Yeah. And I've heard for years and stories from so many people where if you say something to Vince, he kind of respects you and he also tests you. So you went in there and asking, "Hey, you want to do this?" And you said, "Yeah, I want to do this. Come on, let's do this." And shit. And then after that, I feel like again, 3MB is now becomes a thing with you, Drew McIntyre, and Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
And if no one remembers the app Tout, boy, do I remember Tout, because you were all over it with the 3MB at clubs, at concerts, during the WWE app days. When they would go to commercial during Raw, they would go to the app and you could watch video, and it was always the 3MB. And I was always watching. So tell me how the 3MB is formed. And why is Tout not around anymore? Why? Because the 3MB broke up? Is that why?
I think 3MB broke Tout is what happened. So I don't. Man, they were telling us to push that Tout thing for so long, and damn it, we pushed it. So 3MB happened because the one-man band has ran its course, and I remember going to Michael Hayes and being like, "Damn it, Hayes! Like, I need a band. Like, this whole one-man band has been running. Like, I need a band. Like, I need to be a new version of the Freebirds, you know? Like, I need this, I need that." And Hayes is just, like, loving it because, like, you know, the Freebirds, he's in the band, you know, all this stuff. Like, he's like, "Hell yeah, man, I like that." So he was pushing for it. And, like, week after week, like, nothing happened. So then he was like, "Oh, give me an idea. Who do you want?" So in the band, you know, I pitched Ambrose, but he wasn't in the Shield yet. I pitched Fandango, but he wasn't Fandango yet. And I pitched EC3 because he was on like NXT, you know. So I pitched those three dudes, but then he's just like, "All right, let me see what's going on." And then Dango, they already had an idea. Of course, he saw Fandango. And of course, with Ambrose, they had him with the Shield, you know. Of course, thank God he wasn't in 3MB, right?
Things might be a little different for him.
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe.
So it was one of those things. And then, like, Hutter, they just were like, "No." So I'm just like, "Well, what the hell?" But then 2 weeks go by again, and then Hayes is like, "Hey, kid, you're going to get your band." You know, and I'm just like, whoa, it's happening. Like, is who I pitched to, you know what? And that's when he told me no, no, and no. And then he was like, "But it's going to be Jinder and Drew McIntyre." And I just was like, what the hell? What? Jinder and Drew, you know? And I was like, oh God, Drew's gonna hate this, you know. And Jinder's laid back sometimes. He's like, man, whatever, we'll make the best of it. But Drew's just like, what the hell, you know? So that was pretty much how it came about. I pitched it, I didn't get my pitch, but I got the band, you know. So next thing you know, from there it was like, what's the names gonna be for the band? And I remember they gave us, like, I think I got the sheet somewhere, still kept it, because, like,
God.
Brother, there was like 100 names on that thing. And we literally just were like looking at each other like, who thought of that? Like, what is that? You know, it was just out there. But I guess 3MB worked, you know, the 3-man band. Of course, it's like generic as hell, but it was catchy, it worked and everything. But Tout was one of those things, like, whenever they told us to be a band, we literally tried to be a band, and we literally was like, you know what? We're going to be Motley Crue. We're Motley Crue. You know, like, let's just videotape this stuff. Let's be a rock band, and let's have some fun. And next thing you know, we did for about 2 years. And it was wild times, fun times, good stories, bad stories, stories I could tell, stories I can't tell. So, yeah. But we were always good friends outside of the business. And then us being together in the business and being friends outside the business, it just was such a good time, you know. But it was one of those things that was, hot damn, it was fun and wild.
Yeah, 100%. And I now let me ask you a question about this, though. The Wii LC match with the 3MB and the Los Matadores and El Torito and Hornswoggle. Now, was this, I've interviewed Hornswoggle about this, where he told me that this match was supposed to be a joke. They were kind of poking fun of all of you and just putting you in here being like, they can't do anything. But it turns out it's the match of the night at Extreme Rules. I think it's 2014. So in reality, what do you know about this match heading in? Do you know it's supposed to be a joke? And then you all got together and go, you know what? F those guys. We're going to put on the best match of the night.
Yeah. Well, this is what happened is that when they were telling us about it, they were like, oh man, this is going to be so funny. You know, this is going to be da-da-da. Y'all can do this. Y'all can do that. But they were wanting us to do like hokey stuff, you know, like making it like, ha ha, instead of holy shit. Like these guys are going crazy. So when you give us 16, 17 minutes and you want us to be hokey, but we're just like, man, you got, you know, little people ref, little people announcers, you know, the two little guys in the ring, and then, you know, 5 other guys outside that we got some talent, you know, we're not horrible. And you put all our little minds together, brother. And we had, I think it was 18 minutes to where we're just literally like, we had the whole opening show, you know, the whole, whatever the show was, the opening.
But whatever the
pre-show
match,
yeah. And brother, man, it was one of those things we were just like, you know what, screw that. Let's kick ass. And Swoggle and El Torito was like, yeah, let's go. Let's do this, you know. And we're just spitting ideas. And thank God Fit was our agent too. I'm pretty sure it was Fit. And Fit just was like, hell yeah, let's go, you know. And man, we made something that they were legit wanting to laugh at and call it a ha-ha match into a holy shit, this is amazing. Why in the hell did we put this on first?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm proud of that, you know, and I'm proud of them too to go in there and do it. And they delivered too. I mean, it was just a fun, cool match to put together, and it was a great match to be a part of.
Again, it's the match of the night at Extreme Rules 2014. If anyone's interested in going back, and
Right?
Because you know everything else that happened, well, all you main events, no. That's the match to watch though. And then eventually, of course, the 3MB does break up, and then the 2016 draft happens. We're having Raw and SmackDown finally separate one more time. You don't get drafted.
No,
What
man.
is the plan for this? Because for a few weeks you do try to get a job from different companies and different shows, but is that the plan? Or someone thought, again, a ha-ha joke of like, oh, we'll just not draft him.
Brother, it was a ha-ha joke, and they were literally going to put my ass on the internet later on in the night saying that SmackDown picked me up. That was the plan. Then JBL comes to me, and JBL's always had my back, and I love that dude. I know a lot of people want to talk shit about him, but he's always had my back, and he's always been good to me. He came to me and he was like, hey, kid, listen, I pitched an idea for you tonight, and they're going to go for it. I was like, oh, what is it? Am I getting drafted first? You know? And he just was like, you ain't getting drafted at all. I was like, what the fuck? Why would you pitch that shit? What the hell, man? You know, like, why would you do that to me? And he just was like, listen, man, people's going to remember who got drafted number 1, and that's it. No one else is going to remember who was 2 through 30. No one's going to remember. But I guarantee you not getting drafted, being the last thing that they see, the last person on camera, is going to get you sympathy. It's up to you what you do with it. And I just was like, holy shit, you're right. And brother, afterwards, I go up to Ed. Ed's like, nah, man. He's like, we're just going to put you on the internet saying you got drafted to SmackDown. I said, hell no, man. I said, let me be a free agent. I said, let me try to get with SmackDown. Let me try to get with Raw. Let me try to get with SmackDown. I said, let me go everywhere. I said, let me just try my best and just get a job, like begging and pleading, like we can do some awesome vignettes, you know. And Ed literally looked at me and was like, brother, I think you got an idea there. I think we can do that. And he was like, all right, man, we ain't going to say that you got drafted. And then we just started talking, man. We started putting stuff together. And that whole free agent thing started getting over. I mean, to the point to where, like, the whole part with, you know, me and Brock with the kids, and then Rhino coming and helping me, and then us getting the titles and the contract, like the whole, like that part with JBL looking at me saying, you're not going to get drafted, kid. It's up to you what you make for it. And me being like, you son of a gun, you're screwing me, you know, made a storyline that, like, made people really get sympathy for me and get on my side, man. to where it was just he knew exactly what the hell he was doing. I was just in the dark, being like, "Oh man!" And then just little lighter of them light came on. I was like, "Oh, I see now. Okay, let's run with this." But
It
if it
did.
wasn't for JBL, man, that whole free agent stuff wouldn't even happen. That was his pitch, his idea. He just smartened me up to it.
Well, it was a great pitch. And then the I got kids is one of those lines that became a t-shirt, became a huge part of your character, even shooting vignettes with
Yeah.
Rhino at your house with all your kids.
Yeah.
But Brock Lesnar doesn't give a shit about your kids.
Right?
According to,
I know.
were there plans for you and Brock to have more than that interaction? Because again, your free agency, I got kids,
Yeah.
SmackDown with Rhino. There's a lot of momentum building for you. Are there plans for more than just Brock Lesnar saying he doesn't give a shit about your kids?
Man, that was nothing else after that. It was literally a promo, and then I literally forgot a line, and I started shooting from the hip, and I got kids came out of my mouth. And next thing you know, and Brock like never talks on the promos. Like he never talks. But he just took the mic from Paul and said that line. And the whole ending of the promo type seg was like me telling him like I have to fight you type deal. And then as soon as he said the whole I don't give a shit about your kids, it was just like a where the hell are we going here? Like I haven't even said that I was going to fight him or something. He was like, turn around and walk away. And then I was like, all right, this is where we're going for it. And then that's when I took the swing and he kicked my ass. I wish if we would have planned all that, I wish like I would have got one hit on him, just so the crowd would have been like, whoa, and then let him kill me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But it was like one of those things where like I was kind of lost. He had a little plan. I forgot my lines and I threw out a line to where he was like, oh, damn, that's pretty good. And then like, I guess Vince loved it. So that's why I got a t-shirt and everything. So yeah, it was just like one of those things like if you're stuck on television and you're live and you have nothing to say, you better say something.
Well, it turned out great for you again. You got a T-shirt, you got those
Mhm.
vignettes with you and Rhino, and when SmackDown and Raw did split up, you and Rhino eventually form a tag team. You win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. What's your relationship with Rhino before this? Are you friends? Is this
No,
pitched
man.
like how is this put together?
Brother, they literally had me going for the IC title. Like the whole first pitch was me going after Miz. And it's supposed to be like Hollywood against Hillbilly type thing. And it was pretty much how they described it to me was like Matt Hardy and MVP back in the day.
Okay.
How they would like try to one up each other and they were tag teams and then at the end they get along with each other and then but the Miz jumps me and then I get the title shot and I beat him type deal. And I'm just like, holy crap, yes, I'm gonna be IC champion. That's the only title I've ever wanted. You know what I mean? And then next thing I know, man, like we're doing some stuff, this and that, and we're doing some segments and promos, and then it just stopped. And he went, I think, to wrestle with Ambrose, and then me and Rhino got together. And then Vince was like telling me, like, you're not going to go for the IC title. I want you to be the first ever SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions with Rhino. I got this idea and that idea. And I'm just like, no, man, I've already held the tag titles. I need to get on that level. I want to be on that level. But with me bitching and complaining, he talked me into it. But fast forward so many years, like Rhino's one of my best friends now, so like I love him to death. Like I got a best buddy. I love it for years instead of, a little something I can put on the wall and say, oh, I won once. So it worked out good.
Yeah. No, it did. Again, very entertaining stuff on SmackDown. And but then of course, as time goes on, we had you about to be released by the WWE, and according to online, it's because of COVID and there wasn't enough money coming in. Of course, if you have no house shows, you have no shows, you can't have no fans, you can't make money.
Very true.
Is that what you were told when you were released? And before that release, though, you and Drew had a moment in the ring together. And that to me was one of those like, oh, I remember the 3MB because it felt like it was so long ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. So what were you told about your release? And then that Drew moment, is that Drew and you like saying like, can we do this for one final goodbye?
Well, that Drew moment happened after I got released because I got released first, and well, me and whoever else, there's a big list of
Yeah.
everybody, and then my contract was coming up from like when you get released with WWE, there's a 90 days of no compete, you know, so there's 3 months of you can't do nothing. Literally, maybe 2.5 months of my release, I only have 2 more weeks before then I can go and do whatever I want. That's when they called me and was like, "Hey man, like we got an idea for you, you know, to come in with Drew because he was feuding with Dolph Ziggler, and he was like, we wanted you to do a segment with him, and then we want you to go and do this other segment with Dolph and this other segment at a pay-per-view." And I said no. I said, "You done fired me. I don't want to do it, man. Like I have no interest." And I hung up, and it was some writer. I don't even know his name, and if he remembers me saying this, I apologize. You know. But then I got another phone call, and it was a buddy of mine that was a writer, and he pitched the idea. And I said, "Bro, I have no interest. I have no interest at all." And then that's when McIntyre called me. And Drew's like, "Come on, mate, listen, you know, like it can probably lead for you getting a contract again, or, you know, at least you can be on television with me. I'm the champ now, and you can get a nice little rub before you go and hit the indies, you know, whatever you want to do." And then I just like, "Bro, I don't want to do it, you know." But then, of course, we kept talking, and he talked me into it, and we did it. We went down there. They wanted me to do 3 things, and I told them I was only going to do the one. And that's what you saw was me coming out with Drew. And this was in the whole COVID days to where they were like cutting stuff, and you can edit stuff and everything. But that whole thing that you saw was one take, start to finish. They ran with it. We did it, and it was done. And I was kind of impressed with that because, like, while I was there, like, they were doing, like, a few takes here, a few takes there. And I just was like, man, like, I have so much feelings right now in me. I'm just going to throw up all this shit. So I kind of did. And it worked. So it all worked out. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, again, it was a wonderful moment, and you supplied so many memories of, you know, Heath Slater and the one man band. But this is where I feel like things unfortunately went sour. You're out of the WWE. Impact Wrestling, which is TNA, now is bringing in, they do it all the time. When someone gets released or someone is free, they're like, "Oh, sweet, we'll bring them in," because suddenly the fans want to see you actually wrestle and be more than what you were allowed to be in the box they put you in. So then we get you there. And I think you show up and you immediately get injured, unfortunately. And again, we talked about earlier, you're looking jacked, you're looking huge, you're looking better than ever, and then immediately you get injured. What is going through your mind mentally? Because again, you probably have plans. Now these plans are gone.
Yeah, man. It mentally, like, it rocked me. I ain't gonna lie. It's one of those things, like, you know how, like, physically you get hurt, and you know you work out, you heal, you do rehab, you're gonna get better. But when you're mentally hurt, man, like, it takes a lot to get that back. You know, it really does. And I didn't really, like, I went through some mental challenges, you know, through my years. But like that injury was like my very first injury to where a doctor was like, I don't know if you want to start wrestling anymore, you know, that type deal. And I was very blessed during my WWE career to where, like, I had little injuries and in and outs, but I never had like you know, an ACL or, you know, something like a big pec injury, something to where like you rip something like that. I didn't have nothing bad. But what sucked is that, like, I got released, and I remember I hit the gym and I dieted for 3 months. Like, I went hard as hell, bro. Like, I was ready. I was ready to damn light that match and throw the gasoline. You know, I was so ready. And the times that I was with Impact and we were having fun, like, I was rocking and rolling too. And then that injury, man, is like, what blew my mind is that, like, it was a move that I've done for years. I slid into the ring. I ducked a clothesline. I hit a neck breaker, and it felt like someone stabbed me. And I'm just sitting there like, what the hell? And then, like, I was in that Call Your Shot gauntlet on Bound for Glory pay-per-view. I'm supposed to win this son of a bitch. And as soon as that happened, like, I'm like, and I thought I had a cramp to where I'm like, oh, man, come on, not now. So then I go for my leg lariat, and I hit it, and I fell straight to the ground to where, like, I couldn't even, like, my midsection wouldn't work, you know? So I'm trying to, like, pull myself up, and I'm fighting. I'm still just fighting, man. Like, but I'm literally fighting. You know, like I'm just sitting there like my body wants to pull me forward, but I'm trying to like pull myself up to look good. But like it was just all messed up. Finally, we're in the match and I'm down. And I look at the ref. I'm like, go and tell Sammy, because it's supposed to be me and Sammy at the end. I said that Rhino has to win. I have to get thrown out. And then the ref was like, what? And I said, brother, go and tell Sammy he has to throw me out and Rhino has to win. So he does. And at that moment, Sammy's choking Rhino in the corner. And I'm in the opposite corner. And I see them literally both look at me when the ref tells them. And he's like, what the hell? So then Sammy comes to me to start whooping my ass. So I had to relay the message. So then that's when he threw me out. They put me on a gurney, man. They take me to the hospital. I get to the hospital. I get misdiagnosed. They're just like, oh, it's a hernia. And I'm just like, a hernia? Okay. Like, should I really be feeling like this, you know? And then after that, I'm out for about a month because you got to remember it's COVID time. You can't just get into a doctor. I don't work for WWE no more. You know, like they can't just get me right in somewhere. So about a month later, I had an appointment to another doctor to where he was like, "Oh yeah, you have two hernias," and I'm just like, "Okay," but my whole my whole left side of my leg, brother, was just black, blue, yellow. I mean, it was so bad. Like everything's swollen, everything's not the colors that it should be. I mean, it was just like, bro,
For a
there's ways.
full month, you're like that before you can get to a doctor?
Dude, I was like that for 3 months. Dude, I couldn't walk. I'm barely hobbling around. I go to another. Remember, this is COVID. You know, you can't do nothing. Like the people, you can't see shit. I go see another doctor, and the doctor is like, "Man, you know, I see you have a hernia here, but obviously you might have tore something. You're gonna have to get some CAT scans or something." So I'm tired of jumping through hoops. So I call the WWE trainer, my buddy Larry. He's a West Virginia boy just like me, man. Like he's just a good old boy. And I was like, Larry, man, I need some help. He's like, dude, whatever, what's up? And I told him my problem, what happened. I was like, this is what happened. He was like, let me get you in contact with. So I got in contact with the Carolina Panthers strength and conditioning coach. He got me in contact with the head doctor up at Duke University up in Durham, North Carolina. I got up in there, and next thing you know, he like looked at me and he was like, "Holy hell, kid!" He was like, "You have two hernias. You ripped your groin. Your whole abdomen wall is sliced." He was like, "It looks like it's like hung with like fishing line, you know, like so." Pretty much all that being said, I had to get two hernias fixed on each side of my pubic bone. My abdomen wall right below my belly button was ripped 7 inches to where they had to put three pieces of mesh in it to hold it together. My groin muscle in there, there's a thing called the rectus muscle that holds your groin to your lower abdomen. That got ripped to where they had to cut it. So I don't even have that anymore. You know, so all of that happened with me sliding in the ring and damn hitting a neck breaker, bro, and a leg lariat, and I couldn't move.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
11 months I was out before I got back in the ring. Yeah.
You know, everyone has suffered through the pandemic, but it sounds like that you have won the award for suffering during the pandemic because my
Yeah.
God, that does not sound like fun at all. You know, one time I had to do like a doctor appointment through my phone
Yeah.
and it was a simple, I think I have something with my eye. It was a sty in my eye. And he's like, oh, hold your phone. I have a whole different ball game, a whole different situation.
It was
My God.
horrible,
Well,
man.
I'm happy that you're not with a black and blue leg right now, and you're up and about. One final question before you wrap this up. You know,
Yeah, bud.
the 3MB.
Hmm.
Are we ever gonna get a reunion of the 3MB? It doesn't matter where it is. All it matters is it happens.
I will say this. Drew is up there kicking ass and looking good. Jinder's getting spotlighted and having a good time. And I don't have a contract anywhere yet. So I'm saying there's a possibility for anything. There's always a possibility for comebacks, as you can see, it's been happening in WWE. So the only thing I can say is that keep your eyes open. Beware, watch out. WWE Hunter, call me anytime, baby. Call me anytime, baby.
I think, again, Heath Slater, it has been an honor and a privilege today talking about the rise of the Nexus and, of course, the one-man band, the WLC that stole the show. Again, folks, Extreme Rules 2014. If you want to see a match, it'll blow your mind.
Get your eyes on that. Get your eyes on it.
That's the one. And what do you got going on? What do you have coming up? What do you want to promote?
Brother, honestly, man, I'm still, I'm just doing social media. I'm wrestling the indies now, having some fun times on the weekends. I'm being a dad on the weekdays because, when I was with WWE and everything, I was gone most of those times and wasn't really in the lives of my children as much as I wanted to be. So the last couple of years, man, I've been being dad. I've been working the weekends. I've been having a good time. I got t-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees. My Twitter is Heath XXII for 22, like my tattoo. Instagram's the same thing. I'm doing Cameo and all that other stuff that everyone else always does. So if you want a message, man, hit me up. But yeah, I'm just literally living life, and I'm enjoying being a dad at the moment, if you want to be honest. I really am.
It's amazing to hear. I'm a father of three. I have a 1-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 7-year-old. And when I go away anywhere for wrestling-related events, Daddy, when are you going to be back? Daddy, why are you here? And I feel terrible. Yeah. And, you just brought up for a moment, you alluded to it, is when you were, in the WWE, in the Nexus and Rhino, how old were your kids then? And were they acknowledging that you were missing more often than not? Obviously, now they see you a lot more. But how was that situation like as a father?
I mean, I was in WWE with my kids being born all the way up to my oldest was 8. So my oldest is 11 now. And my youngest is 9. So when I got released with WWE, my oldest was 8 and my youngest was 6.
Okay.
So, but 6 years with my youngest, like she didn't want anything to do with me, man. Like nothing. Like it was always mommy, 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 mommy. And I'm just like holding her like, no, I'm going to love you. And she's like trying to push away. I'm like, no, don't, But like I was just the cool guy that came around for 2 days and had fun, and then I'm gone. And then they're just like, oh, okay. So the mommy, 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 mommy. And then next thing you know, 2 days, oh, here's that weird looking redheaded dude that likes to have fun with us. And I'd have fun with him and then I'm out again, like it was, man, looking back now, it sucked, But it's one of those things now, it's like I couldn't give my kids the life that I have right now if I didn't do everything and sacrifice what I did. And I'm blessed to be only 40 at the moment, but being able to be a big part of my kids now at a time in their life where they actually need me. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So looking at it now, it worked out, I think, but there's just a lot of memories and stuff that I won't ever get back or won't have because I wasn't there,
Yep.
I always tell everybody what sucks is that, like, I always say that, that movie, The Greatest Showman?
Yep.
All right, I might cry if I tell you this. I'm going to try not to because I'm a sensitive man anymore. But you remember that part where you have the wife singing, but then the husband is going off in the chariot with the
girl.
Yeah, but she's singing, but then she's at the dance recital, but the chair's empty and he's not there. They're at the table eating, chair's empty, he's not there. They're doing this in the town, but he's not there, he's doing it. That's like, I feel like a wrestling like life with the wife and the husband because he's out living his dream doing it, but she's at home taking care of the kids, And every time I watch that scene, I'm just like, oh God, like makes you want to cry.
Yeah, I can't watch certain movies with my kids because then I grab my oldest. You used to be so small, and then I'm like holding her and like squeeze. She's like, "Daddy, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm trying to make you smaller. I'm trying to make you smaller."
You're choking me, Daddy. You're choking me.
Yeah, stop touching me with your homeless beard is what they call it now.
Oh,
but
dang.
yeah, man, I hear you on that. I hear you on the sacrifices and the love. But you're right. If you didn't do what you did, you wouldn't have given your kids the life they have. So in reality, something had to give them what you have now. So unfortunately,
it's a fact.
But again, I gotta say, I look forward to the day the 3MB is inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Hell yeah, me too, man. Me
It's
too.
coming. It's
It's
coming.
coming.
You
Few
know,
more years. Few more years.
you know, you gotta do it. Yeah, you can't do
Oh
it when
shit.
you're in a wheelchair. How you gonna do
Nah,
the air
I
guitar?
know. My
Yeah,
hips won't work in like
no,
another
you gotta
10
do
years,
it
you
in
know.
the next
We're gonna
couple
do
of
it soon.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
man.
You're
But
right.
I'm looking forward to that day where you know, Cyndi Lauper or you know, holograms of Roddy Piper can induct you into the
Right.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
But
that'd be
again,
sweet.
it's been an honor talking to you about everything up and down and left and right and all the fun you've had over the years. And I cannot wait to see what happens next. Thank you again for being here on 10 Count. I've been Steve Ball. He is Heath Slater. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Oh, baby.